How to understand fast English. Let me guess. You can understand English speakers just fine when they talk at a normal speed. But when they speak quickly or with different accents, it gets harder, right? Don't worry, I'm here to help. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Before we dive into today's video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our new content. We post videos regularly to help you improve your English skills. Now, let's get started. Tip number 1. I bet you can understand this person. People often ask me why I'm so interested in the mental health of children and young people, and the answer is quite simple. It's because I think that every child should have the best possible start in life. I'm pretty sure you will find it much harder to understand this person. I know other girls in relationships let these things slide, and let their boyfriends text every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Let's try another example. Can you understand this person? The goal. The objective of economic policy should be collective well-being, how happy and healthy a population is, not just how wealthy a population is. I'm just guessing, but I think you can understand that person pretty well. But what about this person? That thing, I've not been able to sit back and enjoy it, because you're always on the move to the next thing. And on the move to the next thing. I think that's why during lockdown, I really struggled as well, because it was like, on to the next thing, and there is no next thing now because we're all in. Much harder, right? Let's figure out why. I gave you 4 examples there. 2 of them were quite easy to understand, and 2 of them were more of a challenge. The 2 examples that were easier to understand involved speakers talking in a public setting. They had something that was prepared, a script or a speech written, and they were presenting to a large group of people. The other 2 examples featured much younger speakers using a dialect that you might not be familiar with. They were speaking in a setting where nothing was planned or prepared, and they were just talking to 1 or maybe 2 people in quite an intimate setting. So, my first tip is, diversify your listening practice. Stop watching TED Talks. Stop watching members of the royal family. TED Talks are great. I love TED Talks, but they are presenting. They have written a script, planned and practiced what they are going to say, and they want a large group of people to be able to understand them. So, of course, you'll be able to understand them. That's their main goal. When you are doing English listening practice, make it your mission to find things that are unscripted. Reality shows, podcasts, chat shows. Diversify the listening practice because your ear is like a muscle. Your ear will become so flexible, so adaptable. Your ear will be ready to listen to any voice, any dialect. So when you talk to someone, it's like you've done the hard work. This conversation is easy. I can understand you. Moving on to my next tip. Keep watching for an in-depth analysis of the sounds that make English speakers so hard to understand. My next tip involves a strategy that humans have been using since the dawn of time to understand each other, and that is talking to another human being. I want to recommend a resource that I have used for the last 3.5 years. Without a doubt, one of the best and most effective ways to improve your English listening quickly is by actually speaking to a native English speaker. It's authentic, it's real, and it works. As most of you know, I teach and learn practicalities here because I truly think that this is the main reason why understanding fast English is so hard. It's all because of linking. It's because of those annoying linking sounds that everybody makes. Let me talk you through some of the most common linking sounds and how to understand them. I believe that the best way to understand something is to be able to do it yourself. So, learn these linking sounds like you are going to do them. Try to make them with your own mouth. Try to actually do them. Because if you understand the mechanics of how you make the linking sounds, it will sound a lot less alien when you hear someone else doing those linking sounds. Okay. So let's look at this sentence. I actually saw a dog in his window on Tuesday. Now, can you see how that could be quite confusing if I say that really quickly? I actually saw a dog in his window on Tuesday. It's crazy talk. Crazy talk. And it's because it's like I'm saying one big word. There are no gaps in the middle. It's just one long word. So let's talk through the linking sounds. The first one we've got is I actually. Now, no one says I actually. They don't put a gap in the middle. What we do, definitely in a lot of accents in the UK, definitely in standard English, is use these links. Most of these links are based on standard English, but a lot of them are international. Lots of different dialects use these linking sounds. So, when you've got I actually, how are we going to link that? What we're going to put in the middle is a Y sound, so it becomes I actually. Why do we say Y? Let me tell you, this is a vowel-to-vowel link. Okay, so we've got an I, and then we've got an A. I-A, all right? So there are two vowel sounds, and we have to create a link because they don't really link together without putting something in there. Eyes wide, because when we do I, it's like we're ending on a smile. This is the same for A and E. So when you've got this wide vowel, smiley vowels, let's call them smiley vowels, then to get to the next word, if it starts with a vowel, you have to put a I because it's easy to do. Our mouth is already wide, and when we do Y, it's a wide sound as well. I smile, I, actually, and you just release it. I actually like that. Moving on to the next linking sound in this sentence. I actually saw a dog. Hold on a second. I definitely just did an R sound. I actually saw a dog. I can't see an R there, can you? I can't see an R, but I said an R. That is because we have a feature called an intrusive R. Now, if you are only concerned with understanding American speakers, don't worry about the intrusive R. But if you want to understand a lot of people from Britain, you need to understand what the intrusive R is. The intrusive R is when we insert an R to link to the next word, even though there's not an R written there. We just put one in, and this can be extremely confusing when you're listening to fast English because you've definitely heard an R. Hold on, there was an R there. What's going on? But there isn't. We've just put one in to help with linking. So let's look at the example. I actually saw a. The reason why we're doing an R here is because we have the OR sound of saw and then an A. We have another open vowel sound, saw a. So if we didn't have the linking R, the intrusive R, it would sound odd. It would sound like, I actually saw a. We would have to put a gap in there, but we don't like putting gaps in when we speak. It's annoying. So, I actually saw a feels like it should rhyme with door, right? It's the same sound. Saw door. Look at the word door. There's an R on the end. Okay, so actually, this sound feels like it ends in an R. The word saw kind of sounds like it ends in an R, and that is why we are using the R sound in a lot of UK dialects. If you have a word that could end in an R, it sounds the same as a word that ends in an R, followed by a vowel. We're probably going to put an intrusive R in there. For example, my name is Laura. Laura ends on a wa. But what other words end in a schwa in English? We have mother, father, water, better. Oh, look, R, 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 R. So that schwa sound sometimes is spelled like If I have to link my name to something else that's a vowel, I have to put an R in there. So I say Laura is. Laura is great. Push yourself. Try to do the intrusive R. Try to make that sound. Get familiar with it. Get comfortable with it. Learn how it works. Imagine you are an actor learning an accent for a role or something, and if you can do it, you will definitely understand it when you hear it. So now we have this. I actually saw a dog in. Now the next link is a little bit easier because we have a hard consonant dog and then a vowel. When you've got that hard consonant followed by a vowel, just push the two together like it's one word. So instead of saying dog in, we say doggin. Doggin. And it actually helps us to pronounce it better. Doggin. The last one we're going to look at today, in his. In his. Here we have a consonant followed by a vowel sound, and we're just going to push them together. But this time it feels like we have something special. We have the letter H after a consonant, which is a really weak sound. So weak that we don't even say it sometimes. So let's push these two together as much as we can. I actually saw a dog in his window on Tuesday. That's in his window. In his window on Tuesday. Now that you know the rules, my challenge to you is to learn these linking sounds like you were going to say them yourself. When you are listening to Fast English, see if you can identify those linking sounds because those sounds are there. You're not imagining them. They are there. And that's what's making it so hard to understand Fast English. It's because when we speak fast, everything gets squashed together and it sounds like one long word. But if you understand the mechanics, you can break down the words and understand what people are saying. Now that we've covered the importance of understanding linking sounds and how they play a crucial role in Fast English, let's dive deeper into some advanced strategies for improving your listening comprehension. Advanced Tip 1. Shadowing Technique. One of the most effective ways to train your ear and improve your pronunciation simultaneously is through a technique called shadowing. Shadowing involves listening to a native speaker and immediately repeating what they say, trying to match their speed, intonation, and rhythm as closely as possible. This technique forces you to focus on the natural flow of the language, including all those tricky linking sounds and reductions. Start with short, manageable segments, perhaps just a sentence or two. As you become more comfortable, challenge yourself with longer sections. This exercise is particularly powerful because it mimics real-life conversations, helping you become more attuned to how English is spoken in various contexts. Advanced Tip 2: Transcribing native speech. Another excellent exercise to boost your listening skills is transcribing. Find a short clip of a native English speaker, preferably something unscripted like a podcast, interview, or casual conversation. Listen to the clip several times and try to write down exactly what you hear, word for word. At first, this might be challenging, especially with all the linking sounds and reductions we discussed earlier. However, with practice, your ability to catch these nuances will improve significantly. Once you've finished transcribing, compare your version with the actual transcript, if available, or with subtitles if you're working with a video. This comparison will highlight the areas where you might have missed sounds or misheard words, giving you specific points to focus on in your practice. Advanced Tip 3: Contextual clues. When listening to fast English, sometimes it's impossible to catch every single word. In these cases, rely on contextual clues to fill in the gaps. This involves using the words you do understand, the overall topic of the conversation, and any visual cues, if available, to make educated guesses about what you're missing. This skill is particularly useful in real-life conversations, where asking someone to repeat themselves multiple times might not be practical. The more you practice, the better you'll become at understanding the gist of what's being said, even if you miss a few words here and there. Advanced Tip 4: Use resources designed for language learners. While unscripted content is excellent for advanced practice, don't completely abandon resources designed for English learners. These resources, such as graded readers, learner podcasts, and educational YouTube channels, often break down complex language features in a way that's easier to digest. For example, you might find videos that focus specifically on different English accents, or podcasts that gradually increase in speed as your listening skills improve. Use these resources to supplement your unscripted practice, helping you build a strong foundation before tackling more challenging material. Advanced Tip 5: Engage in active listening. Active listening means fully concentrating on what you're hearing, rather than passively letting the words wash over you. This involves not just hearing the words, but also paying attention to the speaker's tone, pitch, and emotion. Active listening helps you pick up on subtleties like sarcasm, humor, or frustration, which might not be obvious from the words alone. To practice active listening, choose a short audio clip and listen to it several times. On the first listen, focus on understanding the main idea. On the second listen, pay attention to how the speaker uses their voice to convey meaning. Finally, on the third listen, try to catch any details or nuances you might have missed. Advanced Tip 6: Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Finally, remember that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. Don't be discouraged if you struggle to understand fast English at first. This is a common challenge even for advanced learners. The key is to stay persistent, keep practicing, and gradually push yourself out of your comfort zone. Over time, as you implement these advanced strategies, you'll find that your ability to understand fast English improves significantly. Conversations that once seemed impossible to follow will start to make sense, and you'll feel more confident in your English listening skills. Conclusion. In conclusion, mastering fast English requires dedication and a multifaceted approach. By diversifying your listening practice, utilizing techniques like shaddy, and transcribing and actively engaging with the language, you'll gradually build the skills necessary to understand native speakers in any setting. Remember, it's a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to fluency. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content on improving your English skills. And as always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, leave them in the comments below. We're here to help you on your language learning journey. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.